Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today's video is going to be about a top-down Kundalini awakening. It's something that I constantly searched for on my journey and could find one or two videos for. And so that's why I'm making this, to give those of you who feel like you're experiencing a top-down Kundalini awakening a resource, something to relate to, someone to relate to who has gone through it, and to share what I have learned through it, and what I kind of wish I could have went back and heard myself. This video, I wrote some things down. I want it to be a little bit more structured than most of my videos, so let's get right into it. So a top-down Kundalini awakening. You know, if you're unfamiliar with chakras, I'm just gonna go right from the basics here. It's the energy, it feels like it's coming in through your crown chakra, which is up at the top here, and then you have your third eye, then you have your throat, then you have your heart, and then you get into your solar plexus, your sacral, and your root. So those are the main chakras. That's the main energy centers that this awakening is taking place in. And I just want to try to make this simple. So the easiest way to say this is the most refined. Your chakras, your higher chakras are more refined than your lower chakras. So when the Kundalini energy enters through the crown, that's the most refined chakra you have. So that's going to create some of the more difficult energetic scenarios. That's going to create a lot of fear, because what's really happening is you're clearing your chakras. You're clearing the most refined chakras first. Whereas your root chakra, your sacral chakra, these chakras are the least refined out of your chakras. So these ones clear a little bit easier. So when you're clearing the crown out, when you're clearing especially the third eye, you could be bombarded with lots of fear energy. I know I was. You could be feeling lots of terror. You can be having just insane nightmares. You could be having just a wild sensitivity to everything, to even light, the sunlight. I mean, these things were normal for me on a daily basis, of just having surges of fear energy, just having intrusive, dark thoughts that I never, there's no choice about it. It just has to happen. This is just a clearing process. You're clearing these chakras. The Kundalini is clearing these chakras for you. And the main thing here when this is happening is to try to find a place of awareness. Try to find a place of being the witness of it, and try to really relax your awareness of what's taking place in the mind and let it happen. Let the Kundalini flush the mind of its really what they are is their programs. They're fear-based programs that everyone pretty much has, and the Kundalini is coming in and it's just cleaning these up. And it's just like physics. You can't destroy energy. You can only convert it, right? So to clear these chakras, what happens is the darkness needs to come up to be seen, to be felt. And as long as we're open to it, and as long as we don't resist it, this can happen fairly quickly. But it can be a really challenging energetic scenario. I was on the brink of a psych ward. I was suicidal when this was happening. I was confused. I didn't know I was having a Kundalini awakening. I just thought I was losing my mind. So if this is something you're going through, know that this is the hardest part. You're going through the hardest part right now. It gets so much easier. Just hang in there. Get yourself grounded. One thing that I want to say is also during a top-down Kundalini awakening, it's really normal to have a lot of head pressure, like so much head pressure that it just won't stop. You can have that thumping sensation in the forehead and the third eye right here. What I want to say to help you is bring your consciousness into the lower parts of your body. Now, this isn't to say, you might see videos and they're telling you how to move the Kundalini energy, and you can do that, and I've done it. But it just burned me every single time, because here's the thing, this energy has an intelligence of its own. This is divine energy. This is evolutionary energy. This is the intelligence of life itself. So it knows what it's doing, right? So when we force it to do things, it's gonna, I remember one time I had so much pressure, I watched a YouTube video on how to lower it, how to move the energy down, and I did that, and I felt it rushing into my limbs and into my body, and it felt even worse. And I was like, I want the head pressure back. I shouldn't have done that. So I want you guys to know that there's a difference between forcing the energy to move and just simply bringing your consciousness like into your heart, bring it into your gut, bring it into the bottoms of your feet if you can. And get out in nature. I was out in nature. I was like hugging trees. I had guides telling me, the one person I want to recommend, Kundalini, I emailed her when I was going through these crazy ungrounded times. And she would say, ask Mother Gaia to help heal you. So ask the planet for support. Walk barefoot on grass. Get on the beach, walk barefoot anywhere you can. Shovel snow. Just really try to balance out the opening of the crown by bringing your consciousness into like your gut, into like the bottoms of your feet if you can. So the next thing I wanted to say is there's this realization you're going to have like at some point where you're going to be like, fuck, the energy isn't going anywhere. I remember having that. It's like, this energy is not going anywhere. And here's what I want to tell you. The energy isn't going anywhere. It needs to be integrated. And this is really important to know, because when you really sink into this truth, even though it might scare you at first, it really helps you to surrender deeper. And the relentless nature of this energy, it's so relentless and so powerful and so like just never ending and just constant 24/7, because it's breaking your unconscious resistance to it. So we can consciously surrender, we can consciously open, but it's that unconscious resistance that needs this relentless, driving, pounding, like burning energy to really make it surrender, make it submit. The mind doesn't want to submit to something greater. The mind wants to remain in control because that's when it feels safe. The mind wants to be the dominant player. But it's like the mind is trying to fight the cosmos. It's not going to win. But it takes the mind and the unconscious aspects of the mind, the subconscious aspects of the mind, it takes those parts a long time to really understand this and to know it. But this is the main key. Once that happens, everything kind of opens up and it takes on a life of its own, and the healing becomes a lot easier. So if you haven't reached the unconscious surrender yet, truthfully, just keep trying to relax your body. Keep opening your body. Keep breathing. That was one thing that really saved me from suicide, that saved me from going over the edge, going into the psych ward numerous times. The one thing that saved me was breathing. And one breath I want to share with you. It's really simple. But the main thing is you want to breathe through your nose into your stomach. You want to hold. And then you want to exhale out of your mouth for longer than you inhaled. And this is called a sinking breath. This helps you to really stay calm. It helps the parasympathetic nervous system, parasympathetic. I can never say that word, but you know what I mean. It helps the nervous system relax. And this is really going to help you through this before that unconscious release. And what you're going to realize is that this energy, the relentless nature of it, is really hard on the human. It's really hard on your human aspects. It's really hard on, just the body, the mind, everything. Your electrical system, your bioelectric circuitry. It's just really a difficult process because so much is changing, so much is transforming so rapidly. So one thing that really helped me was I let go of identification with all that, and I just tried to merge and be the energy. Because the Kundalini is you, even though it doesn't feel like it at first. It might feel very separate from you, like an invasive force, quite frankly. But it was when I started moving towards merging with the Kundalini and being one with the Kundalini, that's when I started being able to let go of all the pain, of all the trauma that was happening, of all like the upheaval. And that really helped me to get more surrendered, more open to this process. And that's the big part, is the more surrendered we can be, the easier this is going to be. So that's a huge part of the process, is just know that this energy is divine and it's beautiful and it's loving and it has your best interests at heart. It's just a matter of us surrendering to it and not resisting it anymore. Yeah, and as we as we start alchemizing and clearing the darkness from our third eye, the energy starts moving down. And that's when it gets a lot easier, because then, it's the most refined at the top, at the crown, and then still very refined in the third eye, and still pretty refined in the throat. But then we get into the heart, and then we're going to start feeling more emotional. We're going to start feeling a lot more grounded. And then we get into the solar plexus, into the gut, and that's where our power is. And that can be a really hard place to let go, because so many people are just really holding on there and clinching. But the Kundalini is just going to blow you open there. And then it gets lower into the sacral and into the root, and it clears out a lot quicker as it goes down. And know that the number one thing you can do is just totally relax. Just totally lay down, spread out, and just let go completely, and let the Kundalini, it might feel very scary for you. I know it did for me a lot. It might feel overwhelming. I understand. There might just come, for me, there was surges of terror that were like otherworldly. Like, quite frankly, I didn't know you could experience that much terror in a moment. But it would stay with me sometimes for days, and it was just unrelenting, and it was just crazy. It made me crazy, But just know, the more relaxed you can be, the easier this process is going to go. The quicker the Kundalini will integrate, the more you can keep yourself open and relaxed. And as you're laying there, just literally, and it's not a meditation, it's not focusing. You'll notice as you lay there and close your eyes and just let go, you don't have to try to be aware. Awareness is just always there. So just sink into that place and just let the Kundalini, let the energy in your body do what it wants to do. And don't feel frightened if one time I know it came shooting out of my third eye. I mean, it'll just kind of rush up and down your body. You might have kriyas. I had more of just a lot of twitching contractions that I thought were I thought they were convulsions. I thought I was going through I would be in the shower, and I would just I literally would just kind of convulse, and I'd be like, I guess I have convulsions. I must have a neurological thing going on. But rest easy. This is just what those are. Is there literally tension is coming out of your body. It's releasing tension from your body. It's helping you to become more vital. This is a healing process. The Kundalini does take your life for a while, but it gives it back to you in a whole new way, to where you realize that you weren't even alive before in a lot of ways. That you didn't even realize how much you didn't know who you really are. And so the Kundalini is a beautiful divine gift. It can be very challenging, especially initially if you're having a top-down Kundalini awakening, but just know that this is grace. Know that you are in the divine's arms, and that the intelligence of life is supporting you, and that really the best thing you can do is just open yourself to this, surrender to it, try to let go of any resistance, get grounded, bring your consciousness out of the mind and into your heart, into your stomach, into your gut, into your feet. Get into nature. Connect with silence, connect with stillness, find a good teacher, find a good guide that you trust. I offer sessions, and I also have a Kundalini Crisis resources page that I'll post in the link here, with some phenomenal Kundalini teachers. One that I've worked with is Craig Holliday, and he is just an amazing guide, and he has such a powerfully peaceful presence that is so helpful during this stage of your awakening. So that is also very important, because a lot of times I went to psychiatrists, psychologists, doctors. I did everything, guys. I went to the emergency room several times. I had blood tests done. I had a CAT scan, an MRI. Did I say neurologist? I don't know. I had met with everybody, and nothing in the Western medical field could really help me at all. If anything, they kind of hindered me, because they prescribed me all kinds of pills. And what's really happening is the Kundalini is trying to purify your being. So when I was putting these pills into my body, they were really having a horrible reaction. So find a good teacher, find a good guide, and find someone you can talk to, at least, because that's very important, is to have someone to talk to about these experiences, because they are so powerful and so overwhelming at times for the mind, for our previous comprehension of what's happening or of what is possible. Because, I was an atheist prior to this experience. So my mind didn't have a container for what was occurring. It defied my belief system. And so that was another reason it was so hard for me in the beginning. On my blog, I share my whole story if you want more details about what it was like for me. That might help you to connect to someone who also had a difficult experience. But I will tell you, life gets really good. I'll say now, I feel happier than ever. My heart is open. And that's the movement that the Kundalini is truly bringing us to. It's helping us to disidentify with the psychological drama. Basically, it's helping us to know that we are not our mind. It's helping us to know that the thoughts we're having aren't even ours. And we can just stop identifying with thought. And what it does is it helps us come into the heart. It helps us to live through the heart. It helps us to open the heart. But to get there, a lot of work needs to be done, as you're probably feeling right now. A lot of pain needs to be felt. A lot of trauma needs to come up. And it can feel just like it's never going to end. And you can feel trapped a lot of times. And I know that feeling, and it can be really scary. But just know that it's crucial to trust that this energy has your best interests in mind. It knows what you need truly. And that the deeper you're able to surrender to this, the easier it's going to be. So there's lots of support out there. I wanted to make this video if a top-down Kundalini awakening resonates with you, because there's just not a lot of people talking about it in this way. And I'm making this video as if I could go back and find a video for myself when I was going through this and I didn't know what the hell was going on. So I hope that this helps you guys. I hope that there is something valuable in here for you. I hope that this brought some light to what is happening. And if you want to connect further, feel free to book a session with me. Reach out to me through my webpage under Contact Me. Leave a comment. Let everyone know, let us know what you're going through, and then we can all connect in that way too. Other people can find it there, and it's nice to have a community of people who you can feel supported by through this process, because let's face it, this is really hard and support is super crucial. So I love you very much, and I wish you the best of luck on your journey. Namaste.